morning, everyone, and welcome to another late night special of Valley Midnight. I'm your host, Nick. Of course, right now it's actually morning. Well, there's actually a story for that. Everywhere you go, you expect certain things, and one place you least expect them is gotta be from work, right? Well, what if I were to tell you, even work is not safe at times? I've learned that firsthand. But before I go on, I'd like to say that there's going to be a special announcement after this video. So I hope after the show you stick around and hopefully find what I'm about to present to you guys is entertaining, because to me, the item that I'm about to present is actually quite good. So till then, enjoy this story. Like and subscribe if you love this type of stuff. I know I sure do. I love making these videos for you guys, so keep it up. And now, on to the story.
Mall of Fright. Fall 2017. It's been a few months since I've started my new job. Never had I thought that one day I would become a security guard, thanks to the help of a friend who provided me with the opportunity. Now tonight will be my first time on the night shift, alone. I arrived at the mall entrance. It was quiet, peaceful, a complete contrast to the noisy and busy traffic during the day. An empty parking lot as far as the eye can see as I drove up to the locker room door. No one around, I said to myself, spotting two cars belonging to my coworkers. They must be inside the locker room. Parking my car in the nearest lot space, I noticed a dark shadow pass by my rearview mirror just to the corner of my eye. I quickly turned to see if one of the guys was behind me, but no one was there. I took off my glasses and noticed a smudge just to the corner of my left lens. Always dirty, I said, getting off the car. Cleaning them while approaching the locker room door, I could still hear the music being played inside the mall as I finally opened the door. Both my colleagues were already sitting inside, preparing to clock out for the day. "Hey Nick, ready for the first night?" "I think so," I said with a nervous smile. "Don't worry about it, man. Just remember, if the zombie apocalypse happens, we'll be here to relieve you. You've got this, buddy," my colleague said while patting me on the back. "Just try not to let the place burn down, alright?" "Right," I said, nodding. Wasn't long before the guys clocked out and were leaving the parking lot. No one left, I spoke softly. "Let's get started then." I began to walk the hallways and corridors, checking each door, ensuring no one was inside the mall. It was quite tedious work. On the go, on a new task that was to be completed. My legs were heavy before I knew it, and Mother Nature was soon calling. I looked around for the nearest restroom. "Restroom 9, I said, walking down the hallway. Lucky for me, there was one that at the far end of the corner, just before passing by one of the bigger stores. Walking down the hall, I heard a soft sound just ahead of me. It was light at first, but I could make it out as I proceeded forward. It sounded like a girl crying. It was coming from one of the corridors in the middle of the building. "Hello? Who's there?" I said, opening the heavy door. But it was dark. The lights had gone off. I took out my flashlight and looked around, still holding the heavy door open with one leg. No one inside, but I could still hear the crying. It sounded like it was coming from the other side of the corridor hallway. I walked into the darkness as the lights began to flicker. "They're turning on?" I guessed. But looked like they were still having a hard time. I continued walking. I can still hear the crying now getting further away as I approach the corridor exit. I quickly opened the heavy door, shining my light left and right. I could see no one around, only the trash bins in the back. "Is someone there?" I shouted, trying to steady my nerves. No answer. The lights in the corridor turned on, with no more issues throughout the night. "Who was that?" I said to myself. "Gotta head to the bathroom." There wasn't much time for me to think at that moment. Just the need to rush over and unlock and then relock the restroom door. Finally running down the hall to the men's side at the very back. I sat in one of the stalls. It was quiet and very peaceful. No one around to bother you in the time of need like it was during the day. Just as I was feeling relieved, I heard footsteps. It was about to say, "How did someone get in?" when I heard one of the motion sensor sinks turn on. I looked through an opening on the door, but could only see hands and black boots, with the wall preventing me from getting a good look. "Who's there?" I said, trying to recover quickly. The water stopped, but no movement. "Hello?" I said, putting on my belt. Still no answer or movement. I opened the stall door and looked around the wall. Nothing. I can slowly feel my heart racing as I swallowed back my saliva. I looked at the sink that sounded like it was on earlier and found water still inside. What the? It was hard to process that I began to wash my hands without thinking. I walked towards the restroom door, only to discover it was still locked. I could feel my hair standing up on the back of my neck as I reached to unlock the door. It was now 3 a.m. as I locked the door behind me. My night was not over yet. I headed over to the locker room to begin my lunch break. I could still hear my heart beating as I sat down to eat. I know I saw someone, I thought to myself. I'll just check the whole mall again just in case. "Damn," I said right after I accidentally spilled one of my Cokes. And it had to be one of my favorites, pineapple. Standing up, I heard the sound of a footstep entering the front door. I could tell it was the front door by the sound of the metal step placed there to keep water and dirt out. But the chair I was sitting on, I had placed to be able to look at the front door, yet there was no one. I looked away for just a moment, and there it was again, as if someone just entered. I slowly headed to the door, holding my keys with my left hand to prevent any sound from being made, and my radio with the other. It was quiet now. Still, I slowly approached, my heart feeling as if it were caught in my throat. Finally, I was near the entrance. But as I stuck my head out to see who was there, wham! A cat jumps out of the trash can just beside the door. A great sigh of relief I gave, feeling as if my heart just skipped a beat. I laughed at myself for letting that night get to me, but still, I wondered if it was a cat's doing, then who was it that I heard crying and saw washing their hands? Till this day, I've never known. Hello everyone, welcome back. I hope you had as much enjoyment of that story as I did telling it. Maybe you want to be careful with a couple cats when you're working the night shift like I do. But just to make it clear, that story was actually comprised of a couple of stories that I was told, namely among my co-workers, so hope you enjoyed it. I sure did, trying to work that one. Sorry I was late, so I'm trying to prepare the story, but it had a lot of
bugs for me to work out. But on to that special announcement that I mentioned earlier in this video. Today, I'd like to present a special type of book that was given to me by a friend. He's here from the Valley as well, and I like to support people here from the Valley. This book is called Stirs of Embers. It's a really good book. I enjoyed reading it myself. It's by one of my good friends, Christopher Bustamante. Recently had his book released this month, and I had fun just reading it. If you guys are big supporters of horror fantasy, I recommend you read it. It's real good. It dives right into the story. I didn't have no problem reading it. It just takes you into a whole different world right off the bat. And it's pretty hard to find stories like that where you can just kick off without having so much detail in the beginning, you know, trying to get into a character, but surprisingly it's great. So big shout out, Chris, if you're watching this video, man. Hope you keep up the good work. Continue writing, man, because wow, it was impressive. I really enjoyed it. I was reading it to my girlfriend. She was just into it as well. She was enjoying it. We were both laughing. We were both enjoying it. And we got real into it. So for those of you around, if you, like I said, if you like horror fantasy, read this book, Stirs of Ember. I really can't recommend this more than enough. Hey, help out, man. I mean, this guy is from here. He's from the Valley. He's from Mercedes High School. Support this guy, man. I'm sure you'll get much out of it as I did from this book. That way you guys can also make it much more easier so you can get a handle of the book. I'm going to put links on the description. It's going to be on the bottom. You can find it on Amazon, Barnes & Nobles. I recently looked up. Apparently you can even find it on ebook, and apparently at audiobooks as well. I would have guessed. I didn't even know until I started looking for it. There will also be another video that I'll be doing. Chris gave me permission to do a video on this, so I'm gonna go ahead and probably just read one chapter if you guys enjoy it on that video as well. I'll be putting the links on the description, so stay tuned for the first chapter of this book, Stir of Embers, and I hope you enjoy it. I know it'll capture you as much as it captured me. Till then, I'm your host Nick, and this is Valley Midnight. Grab your drink, put your legs up.